Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Criz, but only my homeboys call me Criz. And today I'm going to be doing a review for Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So I had heard only nothing but good things or bad things. People seem to either really love this book or really not like it at all. I like books like that because then I get to find out where I sit on that spectrum. So, in the book Dark Matter, we follow main character Jason Desson. He is a quantum physics professor at a college in Chicago. He is married with a child, his wife Daniela and his son Charlie, and they live in the Logan Square area of Chicago. And they live a pretty seemingly normal life. Jason appears to be some type of a, scientific prodigy. Like, he's clearly brilliant, and when he was younger, probably had a lot of potential to become something very special within the scientific community. But after meeting Daniela, they got pregnant, and they decided to keep the child and just live out their lives from there. Daniela herself is an artist and also showed a lot of potential of becoming something really great, but neither of them really stuck with that, and they decided that having a family was more important to them. And they seem happy together. Their life seems good, but there is always this kind of nagging sense within Jason that, the question of what if, what could my life have been? He has a friend who is winning these big scientific awards for his achievements, and he's saying to himself, that should have been me. Another friend who's an artist who's doing really well, and thinking that could have been her. So he does have these, kind of feelings of not full-blown regret, but just thinking about a life that could have been different. One night, he's abducted while he's on his way home. The person who kidnaps him takes him, makes him drive himself out to this kind of abandoned warehouse, where he then injects him with something. Jason passes out. When he wakes up, he's in a completely different place, surrounded by people that he doesn't know. And then we slowly start to learn that he has been transferred to a different reality, one where he never got married, never had a kid, and did follow his scientific pursuits, and created a box that can essentially take him from his reality into another reality. And that's what's happened. A different version of himself has taken his life from him, and now he is trapped in the reality that Jason came from. And from there, we just see Jason fighting to find a way to get back to his own reality, back to his wife, back to his child. So, this was a pretty wild ride. I really did enjoy this. I think I'm in the camp of I liked it. As far as a straight up, sci-fi novel, I can understand why, if you're more of a fan of the hard sci-fi genre, this probably isn't for you. This does feel a little more mainstream and for a more normie audience. It really doesn't do what a lot of hard sci-fi novels do, where it just assumes that you understand what this thing is talking about. It also doesn't do what a lot of sci-fi books do, which is over-explain the science behind a lot of things. It does that at one point, but that's about the only time that it does it. This was more of a kind of action-adventure with a little bit of psychological thriller mixed in there, and I thought it was pretty successful. So, what did I like about it? I like that Blake Crouch had the balls to kill off some major characters, i.e. the alternate timeline version of Daniela. She gets smoked. And I really did not expect that based on how the story was going. So I like that. There were some genuinely creepy moments in this, which I was not expecting. One being when he sees an alternate version of himself in the corridor, and his back's all flayed up, and he just looks like he's just been fucked up, like he's been in literal hell. And when Jason looks at him or speaks to him, all he does is just give out this weird scream sound. It reminds me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. At the end of that, it just so weird. Another part, which maybe isn't inherently scary, but just grossed me out, or made me ugh. It's around the time where he's becoming very obsessed and, basically just obsessively watching this alternate version of his family that he knows is not his, but he's also starting to feel the weight of the idea that he is probably never going to get back to his actual life, his actual wife and son. And he breaks into the house, essentially, or just goes into the house drunk and is just staring at this alternate version of himself and Daniela. I did not like that at all. That that was Amanda leaving. I liked Amanda as a character. I really liked her. You felt like you could trust her, and her leaving was very upsetting. You could just tell that there was something going on. She clearly had feelings for Jason, and it was never really said, but it was, it seemed apparent that there was something there between her and Jason too, and she found this Jason to be a much better version of the Jason that she knew. But I think that she really started to realize that this was just going to be a lot easier for her to go and find somewhere for her to be, because this Jason had become tortured and obsessed with getting back to his family, and that was never going to change. And if they never made it to that reality, it would just destroy him. She could not be with him. He could not be with her. That would never happen. So I think that ultimately she made the right choice to just go out on her own path. When it's finally revealed that there are multiple variants of Jason in his actual home reality, I was not expecting that. I don't know why, but I just did not expect it. And then as it keeps going and you start to realize how many there actually are, pretty mind-blowing, added a new level of anxiety to the story. Talking about the ending, I think that it's actually super bleak. While we feel good because the Jason we've been following has got his family back, and we look at him as the good guy. He's the person that we're rooting for. It's easy to forget that there are now hundreds of variants of the exact same Jason. All of the variants that are in Chicago trying to get Danielle and Charlie are still the same Jason. Their life was stolen from them by Jason too. They all want the same thing. They all feel the same thing. And they all fought like hell to get back to this reality. And then at the end to realize that this Jason, the Jason we've been following, is the one that his wife and child have chosen to go with. They have nothing now. Everything that they did was for nothing. So not only did Jason 2 come in and steal their life initially, all the shit that they went through to get back here has now been stolen from them again by themselves. It's fucking crazy. Most of them probably have no way of getting back in the box, getting out of this reality and going to a different one. Many of them are stuck here forever with the knowledge that their family chose a different version of them, and there's nothing they can do about that. It's so depressing and fucked up, and goddamn. One of the craziest parts about this whole story to me is Jason 2 and his mentality. How many realities had he actually gone to and looked at? Was this a specific one where he was like, oh, this is the one? Or was it just the first one that he went to where he was married with a kid? I feel like that decision was not very significant. It just met a certain criteria that he was looking for and just took the opportunity. That then sets off this insane chain reaction, a total nightmare for the main Jason and himself. Just kind of crazy to think about. And then another question that I had about the ending again is, does this ever stop now? The reason that there are so many Jasons in this Chicago back in his actual reality is because there are an infinite number of Jasons who have somehow made it back to this. There's also an infinite number of Jasons who don't. Is there now an infinite number of Jasons, just like himself, who are doing this, and could they potentially end up in the same reality that him, Danielle, and Charlie are going to? Are there multiple versions of them that will do the same thing? I don't know if that even makes any sense. I don't understand. I have no idea, and I'm hurting myself in my confusion. So, but I like this. I like that it makes you kind of think about all of these things. And, while it feels like a happy ending, is it really? I have no idea. Some of the things that I don't like, sometimes, especially towards like the middle, it felt like there were a lot of moments of, and they made it just in the nick of time. Like that kept happening. To the point where it was making me feel like I was reading a young adult novel. They're put in a lot of dangerous situations and they just make it out of every single one of them, unscathed, mostly. I just wasn't feeling that. But then, as the story goes along, then we start to understand there are so many versions of Jason and Amanda where they don't make it out. We just follow the Jason that does. We're following the one that makes it all the way through. And so I guess I can let it slide when you think of it in that regard. But really, that was really the only thing. Everything else I really liked. I thought it was paced really well. I thought that the themes were good. Pining over a life that you never got to live, living in regret, trying to change your life to go to something else because you think that that other thing would have been better. So yeah, I'm going to give Dark Matter a 4.5 out of 5. Really liked it, really enjoyed it, even for, you know, some of the things that I didn't really like. You don't have to be a science fiction fan to enjoy this. I think that it's very accessible for anybody. And yeah, I just thought it was a really cool story. Have you read this? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are your thoughts and opinions? Sign off in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.